The storyline of this game is closely tied into the current DC continuity, and we think the level of quality in the writing of the Superman comics is as good as it's ever been. It's really high right now. And so we took a lot of the elements of that and combined them together to make the story for our game. And the basic structure of it is, in the Y2K storyline, B-13 came back to Metropolis, and as a result of various nefarious activities on his part, Metropolis has been modified into a city of tomorrow. It's very futuristic, the look of it and the feel of it. It's got air cars and hover transports. And so what's happening throughout the course of our game is B-13 is trying to use all of the technology that's been advanced in Metropolis to his own purposes. And of course, Superman, as always, is there to defend Metropolis from that. We've had the benefit of working really closely with DC, and they've given us a lot of really positive input to help us shape our storyline so that the events that are occurring within our game will flow nicely through the entire continuity of the DC universe. And just like any other story that's told about Superman, it will fit into the overall mythology that's been created for this character. One of the key components of the character and of our game is the fact that he flies. So you have a tremendous amount of aerial combat. So it probably feels similar to, some things that may have had that aerial combat involved in it. Things you have to do in order to accomplish gameplay when you have a three-dimensional battlefield. You don't want the player to ever feel lost or that they're not in control. We feel very strongly that one of the key elements in any good video game is that the player controls the environment doesn't control the player. And so in order to do that, we're trying to make certain that our controls are always there for the player, and he can do exactly what he wants to do at any moment in the game. He is a hero that has no peer. He has super speed, super strength, he has heat vision, x-ray vision, frost breath. He runs the gamut from top to bottom. And so one of the things that's unique about our game is whenever you run into a gameplay challenge, it's up to you how you want to utilize this amazing set of powers that he has in order to accomplish whatever task or get past whatever obstacle that you've run into. And we think that's truly unique because Superman will have access to all of these powers everywhere in the game, and there's no place where you're limited by any sort of artificial means. Superman is super strong and he can fly, so he can go, drop down, pick up a huge object like a radio transmitter tower and carry it someplace, and place it somewhere where then suddenly communication can be opened up all over the city. Say, for example, a rail whale, which is one of the futuristic trains that now exists in Metropolis, is going up the tracks, and some sort of catastrophe happens and the track is damaged or blown out entirely. Suddenly Superman has a wide array of things he can do with that, from utilizing his freeze breath to slow it down, using his strength to slow it down and stop it, putting the track back together with his heat vision, or even using himself as a bridge across the gap. So you can use any one of a number of solutions to solve a problem that you face in gameplay.
What we really haven't leveraged yet, which I think is probably one of the strongest things that Xbox has visually, is all the multi-pass effects you can do, which you can leverage things, pixel shaders, vertex shaders, depending on exactly what you're doing. But, flying around our city and being able to see, reflections skate across the windows but stop at the window frames, and the circuitry kind of scrolling through certain parts and reflecting differently than the middle. I think too, the scope of our city is pretty large, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's going to continue to get, we're going to cram as much as we possibly can in there, and streaming off the hard drive allows us to do that. But we really want to make the city come alive, and we want to have a lot of stuff moving around, so that we're going to have tons of cars and moving around, light glistening off the new transmitter towers, blinking, all that sort of stuff that I don't think would be possible in any other hardware other than the Xbox.
During video game production, first thing you have is a pre-production phase where you're sort of preparing to go into full production of the game. The gameplay that you're going to be seeing is reflective of that. We have a great deal of the core structure of the game in and how the foundation is going to work, but there's going to be vast improvements as we go further in the full production cycle of the game. The control will be improved, the artwork will be improved, the look of the game, and it's going to be spectacular. We're very happy with the scale that we have now, and we know that we can make this work on the terrific Xbox hardware, but we really are going to go a long way toward improving the gameplay and the visuals as we further the production phase.